The Skull Merchant is in an unplayable state right now, and I'm serious. Patch after patch, Merchant's power has been quietly shadow nerfed further and further under the general player base's noses. I, as a Skull Merchant main, have been really struggling to want to play her and enjoy playing her recently because of how inconsistent and buggy her kit has become. You may be thinking to yourself, what shadow nerfs am I talking about? Just how unplayable really is she? Well, let's talk about that. Starting with a 10.0.2 bug fix patch. Skull Merchant is now heavily punished for hooking a survivor, especially if you hook someone in basement or on a map that has multiple stories. In an attempt to patch out a bug that has been in the game for quite some time now, they actually made her power even worse. Trying to place a drone above or below a survivor on a hook. For example, if someone was in the basement and you try to put a drone in shack, you would do the animation of deploying a drone, but a drone wouldn't actually spawn and your power would be put on cooldown. Now, instead of fixing this bug and making it so you can place drones down normally, they just massively increased her anti-cap, making it so you just don't have the option to place a drone down anymore. Now tell me this, if someone is hooked on the first floor of Gideon Meat Plant and I go upstairs and put a drone down, how is that camping? A single Skull Merchant drone, which really isn't that threatening, on a completely different level to where the person is hooked? Well, now that's considered camping according to Behaviour. And not only that, they never even fixed the bug that they said they fixed. If you're outside this new ridiculously large anti-camp range and still above a survivor, the bug still happens. You deploy a drone and it just doesn't appear. Shout out to Pixelbush for finding out about this change in her code. He made a really good video that goes into a lot more detail than I'm going into that you should definitely check out. The next thing that has severely impacting the playability of Skull Merchant has been invisible walls. I'm sure if you're someone who plays as Billy or Bubba or even Demo, you have felt the frustration of an invisible wall messing up your power. Well, it's the exact same for Skull Merchant. Well, it's less walls and more ceilings, but you see, since Merchant's drones hover above your head, not everywhere you can stand is somewhere where you can place a drone. This can be extremely frustrating to deal with on maps like Batum or Grim Pantry. The low ceilings in buildings mean that you just can't use your power inside of them. But obviously these are ceilings and they are visible, so what am I talking about invisible ceilings? The infamous Dead Dog Saloon table drone. A drone spot so good that it made Dead Dog one of Merchant's best maps. The first thing I want to do loading into the game is set up some drones in some high traffic areas I know will get some scans. Now, removed for seemingly no reason.
Yeah!
Toba Landing, another main building with great drone spots, now removed due to invisible ceilings being added. It seems as though changes are being made to the game without considering how it's going to affect killer powers. I'm sure there's been changes made to the game which have indirectly impacted your favorite killer too, but on such a weak killer like Skull Merchant, you really feel these changes. Right now, there's literally no reason to play Skull Merchant. She's arguably the worst killer in the game. She's been nerfed into the ground. You're punished for hooking survivors where you can't place a drone anymore. The devs have removed some of her only good drone spots in the game. They've also removed some of her only techs, and her rework is seemingly cancelled with no word on it since the first design ideas. At this point, I don't think it's unfair of me to say that Behaviour don't care about the Skull Merchant or her player base. I mean, weakening her power instead of fixing a bug, not considering her power when making map changes or designs, completely gutting her power instead of making a fair playable version of her, cancelling her rework with no plans to pick it back up or give any necessary buffs to put her back into a playable state. Behaviour hates the Skull Merchant. Okay, I don't work for Behaviour, so obviously I don't know the logistics of things, but I can't see a reason why they couldn't buff some of her numbers and just throw it into a PTB to see what happens. I mean, isn't that what PTBs are for? I just don't understand why they've left her in such a terrible state for so long. And yes, I know she did get buffs in the 9.3.0 patch, but arguably that just made her power, well, a power, after her power did practically nothing for an entire year. I've seen a lot of discussion on how to make her power stronger without having to fully rework her that I think could work, like re-implementing stealth mode on her drones like what they used to have. But Behaviour seemed to be happy with the state that she's in, which is an unplayable one. We need to stop excusing these mishaps with, oh, she'll be getting a rework soon, because I'm not convinced that that's what's happening. Behaviour needs to actually give Merchant the attention she deserves, patch out the bug that they said that they patched out, and for God's sake, just make her playable again. If you made it this far into the video, thank you for listening to my rant. I'd really appreciate it if you left a like on this video and subscribed. I also stream over on Twitch where the vibe is a lot more positive compared to this video, so consider dropping a follow over there too. Anyways, I'll see you in the fog.